What's up, bitches and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Drivers Trading Podcast, or welcome for the first time.
I'm Audrey.
And I'm Suzy.
That's crazy. Suzy literally before we started recording was like, I have a good intro for this time.
And it was good, wasn't it?
Right. Well, this is a podcast and we talk about
our feelings,
our
thoughts.
life. Like we've said this before, but the meme of the ducks like nodding with the cigarette and it's like two bitches saying exactly that's us.
Like, we're just here to have a little fun and we don't take things too seriously, and maybe sometimes people don't quite get that.
Yeah, we got some hate on one of our recent TikToks.
Yeah, we got our first ever hate comments.
There was a lot of rage bait for sure, but I also looking back, I think my friend Tyler started it. But Tyler low-key just has had an attitude since getting out of the hospital, which I get it. If I was that close to death, like,
I'd come out acting crazy.
Yeah. But also one of the comments was from someone else I know, and I think he was just kind of trying to, like, be on the same wavelength as Tyler. So
yeah, basically they were just fueling the fire of people who were like actually mad. We just posted a silly TikTok about like flirting with bartenders, which first of all, like, I don't even do that. Like, I'm a pussy. Like, I don't talk to anyone at the bar except my friends or like to myself.
And everyone was just like, horrible take.
Yeah, like, you can't flirt with them, it's their job. Like, and there was some lady who commented like, I used to be a bartender so I could like keep my baby fed and take care of my husband, and this is just really disrespectful. And I'm like, girl, I didn't ask.
Yeah, and then your brother was fighting someone in the comments.
Yeah, he was being a ride or die for me, and like, I have to appreciate that. But some, like, with these people, like, they're just gonna argue to argue. Yeah, and there's like really no point in going back and forth with a stupid person.
That's the thing. Someone commented and was like, oh, like, if you're getting this mad, like, I think you need to take a break from TikTok or something literally. Like that.
Because it's like, why are you so angry over something that is a joke?
Especially, like, we're content creators that are, like, we don't even have, like, 500 subscribers. And, like, our TikTok didn't even get 10K views. No. And you're just like, I'm gonna kill you.
Like, whoa. It was just crazy. I was honestly gagged. But, you know, it wasn't the first time I've gotten hate comments before. One time I posted on Twitter that I like hated all men because I think I'd gotten like catcalled or something that day, and so I was angry, and so I was like, wow, I just really hate men. And then a bunch of men who were probably just searching like I hate men and then replying to every single fucking tweet they saw were like attacking me in my comments, and they were all like, your forehead's big as fuck.
Which is crazy
because it's your not even that big.
Yeah, it's not like Rihanna or anything.
That's crazy. No, I know. And it's like, I have bangs now, so like you can't really see, but I promise under there it's like, it's not that bad.
That's crazy.
I mean, now they could attack me for like having insane acne that like a teenage boy would have because I quit taking fucking birth control and it's actually like ruining everything. But back then they didn't know, and so they just got me for my forehead, which isn't even big, and I'm like, well, if that's the only thing you can like come at me for, I guess I'm beautiful.
Work.
So we're pretty good at handling the haters now, I would say.
Yeah, we're kind of like, we got the full like influencer experience. Like, next step is we get ads.
Yeah, we're gonna get that HelloFresh sponsor. We're gonna get that BetterHelp sponsor, and then we'll get more haters.
Scentbird.
Squarespace.
Oh yeah.
They're coming. Trust. Look, we're over 100 now. Any day we'll hit 500, and then maybe people will care about us.
Yeah, who knows?
But yeah, that was just crazy.
It was crazy.
People online are just so silly.
People online are silly because they have like a screen to hide behind. But you know who's not afraid to be a crazy person in public?
Who?
My grandma.
Okay. That's true.
I don't want to talk too deeply about my grandma just yet, but to preface, if you don't know, I have two grandmas, both of which are named Donna, but I call my mom's mom Trauma Donna because she just is like literally insane. Love
isn't
her.
that, wait, sorry to interrupt, but isn't that in The Bear? Isn't his mom's name Donna?
Yeah.
That's crazy. There's just something about being named Donna.
Well, my other grandma is like completely normal. She's like such a sweetheart and I love her.
But Trauma Donna.
Yeah. So I called my mom yesterday just to catch up, and like my sister's getting married this month, so I wanted to talk to her about like the wedding and how like my plans for coming home and her plans for the wedding and everything. And my grandma picked up the phone. And immediately I was like, oh, that's not the voice I was expecting to hear, because I called my mom, not my grandma. And my grandma was like, well, who is it? Who is it? And I'm like, it's you, Grandma. And she's like, oh, you recognize my voice? And I'm like, yeah, of course I do. I've known you my whole life. And then she's like, I'm at Sam's Club with your mother, and I lost her. And I'm like, oh, and you have her phone, so she can't even call you. And she's like, I'm gonna yell for her. Should I yell for her? And I was like,
Grandma.
and then she was like, Michelle, and like I could hear it like echoing because she's in a Sam's Club like on the phone, and I was just like, oh god. And like she did it so many times, and she's like,
really?
Yeah. And she was just like, I can't find her, like she's not coming. I think like I'm gonna have to go to the front desk and like just
put an announcement over the speaker. I mean, you should have done that before you like yelled to
I know
everyone.
But then just as she was like about to start walking over to the front desk, like I could hear my mom yelling like, Mom, where were you? And like for my mom to be yelling and like me to be able to hear it on the phone, like I just know they were so loud.
I know everyone in the Sam's Club was like looking around.
It was actually insane. And then my grandma goes, Audrey told me to yell for you. Could you hear me?
Oh my god.
And I was like, I didn't
Her
say that.
immediately throwing you under the bus and
I
like
know.
lying. That's so Donna.
Yeah, so my grandma's really crazy. I'm really excited. She's the only family member my boyfriend hasn't met yet, and they're finally going to meet this month at my sister's wedding. There's been opportunities for them to meet, but like because he came home for Christmas the last 2 years, but the first year my grandma was sick, and the second year he was sick. So the stars just haven't aligned for them to meet yet.
But now it's finally time.
Yep.
How do you think that's gonna go?
I think my grandma's gonna say some really racist things to him. As she's said to like some of my friends in the past, just off the front, like, you know,
just a little casual racism.
Yeah, like you know, Giovanni's Hispanic, and first of all, she can't even pronounce his name, which is crazy because it's not like a hard name to pronounce.
No. It's also like a popular name.
I know. And she's going to be like, oh, are you Italian? And he's going to be like, oh, no, I'm Hispanic. And she's going to be like, what kind of Mexican are you? Or something like that. And just, yeah.
She's just keeping it real. Like,
she's always like, how's your friend doing? And I'm like,
about Giovanni?
Yeah.
Your special friend.
Yeah, your special friend. And I'm like, you call like my sister's fiance, like you refer to him as like Nick, and like you actually call him like, oh, your boyfriend this, your boyfriend that. But I don't know, for me it's just your special friend.
Well, maybe if you got engaged then it would be a different story.
Who knows?
Who's to say?
Yeah, she's so crazy.
Speaking of weddings and marriages, I was just talking with Bree the other day, like we're about to go to Target, and so just thinking about like all the things we need and like things that we wanted in our kitchen, and it was like, oh, it would be nice to have like a garlic press or like a lemon squeezer or like a zester or like a vegetable slicer, like all this shit. And I'm like, why is there like so much stuff that you need, and like it adds up to so much money, But then when you get married and have a fucking wedding shower, like, people just give it all to you, and then you don't have to buy any of it.
My sister got so much stuff at her wedding shower.
And it's like, it's just not fair. Like, I know this is gonna make me sound so like single and pathetic and like complaining, but it's just like, how come if you're in a relationship, or more specifically like getting married, like, you get to split rent and save money on that,
which is awesome. I can attest to that.
You get to have a wedding shower, and like, everyone just gives you all these things, and you don't have to spend any money on it.
And the thing is with that, they give you things you ask for because you have a registry. So you're always going to get something you want.
So you're not going to get just some random gift that you're like, oh, okay, and then throw it away. Like, it's literally what you want. And sometimes it's expensive ass shit, like a nice vacuum, or like...
My sister got like a new dishware set, like new pots and pans. And if they don't give you something from your registry, you just get money.
Like, it's crazy. You get all that, and you get to be in love, which is like... Like, how come just because I'm single and lonely and sad, what if I want, like, a lemon press? Like, can I just have a shower and, like, people give me things?
That's like, I don't know, it's crazy because we're at the age now where we're like, oh, I want, like, a lemon press so bad, please gift it to me. Whereas, like, that's not a very exciting thing to be gifted.
No.
But last year for Christmas, I got, like, a vegetable chopper with, like, all the different inserts in it. And it is, like, one of the best gifts I've ever had.
Yeah.
And I'm like... I get so much use out of it, and I'm like, I couldn't have asked for anything better.
It's just so nice to have little things like that, like a salad spinner. Like, ooh. I would be so happy if I got a salad spinner as a gift. But it's like, it's just, there's so many little things, and it all adds up. And it's like, well, I can just get like a couple things here and there, and then maybe in like a couple years I'll have everything I want. But then when like my wedding shower rolls around when I'm like 45, like...
Well, there's still gonna be things that you want. Like, my sister, like, some of her other big ticket items, she goes camping a lot, so she got, like, a really nice bed, like, air mattress riser.
That's sick.
And what else? She got, like, a lot of money. I got her a really nice, like, digital photo frame for her living room. So, like, stuff like that. Like, that's not stuff you need, but it's, like, nice to have, you know?
It's just not fair, in my opinion. I'm about to pull a Sue Sylvester and, like, marry myself.
Some people just give you gifts.
Yeah, it's like, I want presents. I love to get presents. So that was just my complaint of the day. It's just hard being single, man. No present, no love. Rent is expensive.
You know, being in a relationship is very nice.
Okay.
And
wow.
That's all I'm gonna say. But
yeah, fair enough. Look, I'm out here. I'm trying. I think I might be cursed.
Well, let's see. You do go out, and when you go out, I do feel like you've been making an effort more recently to actually speak to people in person.
This weekend, okay, I went out on Friday. I was actually supposed to go out and meet one of my friends who just moved here, but she ended up not going out because her friend, this is like a long-ass story, her friend was flying in to visit, and they thought her plane was going to land a lot earlier, but then it landed, and she just wasn't able to, like, get off the plane because there was some strike going on.
Oh my god, dude.
And so she texted me at like 9 p.m. and was like, she's still on the plane, like,
that's
I'm
crazy.
Not coming out tonight. So that was crazy. But by that point I was already like makeup on, outfit on, so I was like, fuck it, like, we're going to the bar, we're gonna have some fun. So we went out, went to a first bar, just had a little drink. It was fine. Didn't really, like, talk to anyone or do anything. And then we went to this dive bar by my house where there's just, like, famously no one in it, like, ever.
We've talked about this bar before. Yeah. We went there for Rosin's birthday.
It just, like, full, like, fluorescent lights on. It's at least like 15 degrees warmer in there than it is like outside.
Yeah.
And it's just silent unless someone is playing something on the touch tunes. But that was like why we wanted to go there, because we really wanted to listen to Lana, because it was the 5th anniversary of Norman fucking Rockwell.
Wow.
For anyone who celebrates. And so I was like, I really just want to listen to this at the bar and like curate a little vibe. And so we went. I think there was like one couple that was already in there, but we're like, who cares? Like, we're gonna ruin the vibe or make it better for everyone. So we listened to like Venice Bitch, Cinnamon Girl, obviously the title song, NFR, and we were just having fun. We were singing, and it was honestly such a vibe. But then like these two separate groups of like at least like 4 or 5 men like came in like while we were doing this, but they didn't like say anything or really care. I'm sure they just didn't even notice like what was going on.
Like they were there to drink.
Yeah, they were there to like have some fun. But some of them went over to the pool table, and we were like about to leave, and I was talking to Brie and Haley, and I was like, should I go see if I can do a celeb shot, like see if they'll let me like just play around? And I'm also like so bad at pool, like,
and that's okay,
like really really not good, but I decided to be brave, and I went over there, and I was just like kind of like watching for a little bit, and then I was like, can I do a celeb shot? And they were like, okay. And the guy that I took his shot for, he was like losing already. Like there were 4 stripe balls left, and then the 8 ball, and I'm like, oh, are you so like your stripes? And he's like, yeah.
Oh.
And then my ass gets there, I get 2 balls in.
Oh my god,
isn't that crazy?
I know they were impressed.
No, I know. Someone was like, I think she was like sharking, or like I think she's like being a pool shark, and I was like, no, like I'm actually just really bad. Which I don't know how I got so lucky. Maybe it was just the adrenaline of like going over and like talking to people and being silly. But yeah, I got 2 in, and then I was like, good luck, I think you can win, and then I just like left. Because I think I can have a little bit of riz, but I don't know how to close.
You know what, I feel the same way, but sometimes not knowing how to close, it works for some people. I think that's how I bagged Giovanni. Like, I'm not even joking either. Like, the first time we met, we went to a bar, and like, you know, we chatted it up, and like Giovanni's more quiet, but like I was asking a lot of questions that like, oh, if you were a blah blah blah, what would you be? And like getting him in the conversation and everything. And as we were leaving, I was like getting into my Uber, and I was like, well, it was really nice to see you, and I had a lot of fun. And then I like punched his shoulder.
Buddy.
I'm like, kiddo. I didn't say kiddo, but like that's what I did. And he did tell me, he's like, that's like what got me hooked, is like, I was really interested to see you again, because like I thought that was really silly and fun.
That's so goofy.
Yeah
I think part of my issue with it is I am obsessed with the idea of being like desired or chased in some way. And so I think part of me subconsciously is like, okay, if I'm gonna make the first move and put myself out there and like do a little dance, hit a little pool ball, like it's on you to continue it, or
would
ask
you
for
say
my number, or
would you say the ball is in their court?
Okay.
Yeah.
The ball is in their hole.
The 8 ball. Oh.
Their stick was in my hand to hit their ball. Anyway. But it's just like, it's that, like, it just feels sad to like put effort in and put yourself out there, and then they just don't like reciprocate.
They're just like, okay.
Right? And it's like, why do I even try? And I know like we've talked about this so much. Like, I'll always like text Audrey and be like, oh, I'm like kind of interested in this guy, but like he's not reaching out to me. And it's like, I really don't want to text first. And you're like, bitch, just text first. Like, but like, I don't want to. Like, why is it so wrong to want someone to want me?
I don't think that's wrong, but I don't think it's wrong either for you to reach out first.
I know, but it's like every time I do it, I get rejected.
But if you aren't rejected, then like there was no shot at all. You know what well, like, I said that wrong, but like, if you don't reach out,
yeah, then you'll never know, blah,
and
blah,
you
blah.
don't risk rejection.
I know,
Yeah.
but it's like just reach out to me. Come on, I'm approachable.
You just gotta. I mean,
cool.
If you
and
then
I just feel like I end up embarrassing myself because it's like then I just seem desperate.
Well, part of dating is like embarrassing yourself, and well, I was gonna say, you gotta start manifesting more.
That's true.
Like, speaking it into it, like speaking it into existence instead of being like, why do I always get rejected?
I feel like that. I'm not an incel, okay? I'm
no
femcel.
But you know what I mean? Just like
I need
saying
to shift
like,
my mindset.
I'm going to hear back from this person like soon. Mm-hmm. I'm waiting to hear back from this person. They will respond to me. See, and it will be a positive interaction.
I've been trying to do that, and it's just not working. But I'll try something else.
You just need to go on Love Island.
Maybe. Love is Blind.
Yeah.
Have you... Okay, so me and Bree just watched like the season of Love is Blind UK. Did you ever watch like any of the
I watched like two of the US seasons.
Yeah,
I think.
it's a really interesting concept that I don't think I'd be able to do.
I don't know if I could do any dating shows to begin with. Like, if I wasn't in a relationship already.
Yeah.
But like Love is Blind specifically, like, I don't know.
It just, they talk to each other for like 2 weeks and then all of a sudden it's I love you and let's get married.
Yeah,
I just don't buy it.
Yeah, I don't buy it either.
But sometimes like there was a couple from like season 1 of the US one that's like now been together for 6 years, and I just watched the UK one, and a couple of the couples are like still together and still married, and it, like, I guess there's some merit to it. You just have to be like a very specific kind of person, I think, to make it work. Like, you have to be so fully into the like experiment or into the process, and like I just don't think I could do that. Like, I would always have doubts. Like, there's no way I'm gonna know someone for 2 weeks and be like, I'm gonna spend the rest of my life with you.
I think for me too, like the type of people that go on Love is Blind are like the type of people who, and I say this in the like nicest way possible, they don't really have anything else going on.
That's real.
So like, I don't know, they kind of remind me of like the same mindset that Disney adults have for some reason, where like they can be content so easily.
I could see the overlap.
I don't know, you know, what show would be crazy to be on with dating shows?
What?
Naked Attraction.
Oh my god.
I like forgot that show existed. We watched it together like once. Basically, it's like there's a bachelor or bachelorette, and they just stand on the stage, and then there's like 6 pods, or like they're different tubes. Colored pods, and then it starts with the feet and like legs, and then it lifts up and it shows their genitals, and then it shows their chest, and then it shows their face, and then I think you hear their voice, and then each round someone is like eliminated until it comes down to 2 people, and then you see the bachelor naked, and then they go on a date.
Like, that is the most insane concept for a show.
Yeah.
And, like, watching it is just crazy.
It is. And, like, the host is always, like, so weird with, like, what do you think of their bowls?
So, I see she's clean shaven. What do you think about that?
You like a bush?
I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah. And there's some really ugly tattoos on that show, too. Yeah, it's silly.
Maybe we need to tap back into that.
Yeah.
We haven't watched that in a while.
We haven't.
There's like quite a few seasons of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's actually, I was like looking it up, and I think there's another like naked dating show that's like based in the US, but it's like maybe a little bit more like Love Island format versus because like I feel like with the pods and like that type of thing, like I feel like it just gets really repetitive.
Yeah, it kind of just reminds me of like those old dating shows where there's the wall in between them, and like they'll ask a question and answer it, and then you just like choose based on the question, which is kind of like the concept of Love is Blind if you think about it.
Yeah,
except
honestly.
It's not as intensive stakes. Like you don't have to get married to them. You can just like, let's go on a date.
Right. Instead of like, I'm gonna spend the rest of my life with you.
Yeah. Oh, you like football? I like football. Let's get married.
I love you.
I love you so much.
It like they'll like cry in the pods, and like the guy will like get on his knee, and I'm like, this is too much.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if I was deprived from like cell phone and like outside people for 2 weeks, I could see how I could be manipulated into being like, I'm in love with this person. But like, if I did have my iPhone, or like my bestie was there or something, like, to be like, what are you doing? Like, you're insane. You don't love this guy. You just like don't have anyone else to talk to.
Especially for our age, I think it's crazy. And that's why I had the brilliant idea. Because do you know how they're doing like the Golden Bachelor and Golden Bachelorette, where it's like an old person and then it's just a bunch of like 60, 70-year-olds like falling in love? I think that would work really well with Love is Blind, because it's like, okay, you've like been through life, you've maybe been married before,
widowed,
you could be widowed, like you should know kind of what you're looking for and what your values are at this point. Like I'd hope so. If you're like 60 years old, I hope you're not in like situationships.
That would be crazy.
And like on Hinge or whatever the fuck. And I think it would just be a fun idea to just get a bunch of old people in the Love is Blind booth. So that's my $1 million idea.
I think that would actually like draw viewers in so much, and they'd be so attached to the people more so than like someone who's our age.
Yeah.
You know?
So Netflix, like, feel free, hit me up, give me credit, whatever. Like, I just think it's kind of a brilliant idea.
Yeah. Kind of speaking of dating shows and just like crushes and stuff, do you have your crush of the week?
I do, but I'm a little worried it's problematic.
Do you want to say it?
So hypothetically, I'm 26. If this person is 22, do you think that's like appropriate?
I think that's fine. They can drink alcohol.
Right. And like, I was thinking like, okay, if I was 22, like I probably would like date a 26-year-old.
That's only a 4-year age
like
gap.
Not that bad.
That's like Giovanni and I have a 3-year age gap.
True.
So.
Okay, so
That being said, my crush of the week is Hamza from Slushy Noobs. Yes.
Well, yes. He's just like a vibe. Like there's really not much to say. If you know, like you know.
You see that video of the girl like shaking her ass in front of the screen with him on it, and people in the comments were like, he would be afraid of this.
He probably would. I feel like sometimes I'll see their Reddit or just see posts on TikTok about them, and people can be so weird.
People are just like weird with like
male
content.
Well, I guess male and female. People are weird with
and
everyone.
Non-binary even.
Oh,
I'll say
Fuck,
it.
My bad. Fuck.
But yeah, people can just be like weird because, like I said earlier, they're behind a screen, but also at the same time, you get like weirdos.
It's just really like parasocial shit.
Yeah.
But like the way that I have a crush on him is different. Like it's not parasocial. I just know like we would like get along really well.
That's how I feel about Curtis Connor.
Yeah.
Even though I know he's married and like, first of all, he's Canadian. We'd have to worry about like citizenship and like all of that. But I think he's very handsome. I'm seeing him later this month when he comes to Chicago.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Oh, that'll be fun. You should tell him about our podcast.
If I like get to meet him, maybe. But
stand up in the middle of his set. Hey, I have a podcast.
He'd be like, okay.
He'd be like, somebody get this girl out of here.
But yeah, I'm really excited to go. Giovanni is coming with me, and he's kind of pissed off because I think his name is Connor O'Malley, that comedian from SNL or whatever.
Never heard of that person in my
I
life.
don't know, but there's another comedian coming into town that same day, but his tour was like announced after I already got the tickets for Curtis Connor. And Giovanni was like, his show's at 10 p.m. We could make it. And I was like, we're not going.
Hell no.
Yeah.
Only room for one Connor this week.
Oh.
Whatever. Yeah, so Hamza, he's just cute. Yeah. And he's funny. That's like, I was also talking with Brie and Haley, and they're like, oh, well, like, do you know, like, what you want in a relationship? And, like, are you, like, sure? And, like, whatever. And I had to come to the conclusion that I need to give up on trying to find a guy that is funnier than me, or, like, as funny. Because I'm just, like, I'm so funny. It's, like, really hard. And I just need to accept that as long as he thinks I'm funny, then it's okay. But then I see, like, that men that are funny do exist. And then I'm like, where are you?
Well, okay, here's the thing. You can make them funnier.
That's true.
I think being in a relationship, you pick up on the other person's, like, quirks and stuff and, like, their vocabulary, which makes them, like, on your level. So you just got to give it time.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I am right.
You're right.
I think one more thing before we get into our game. Speaking of games, we play Monopoly on Wednesday. First of all, I had been wanting to play Monopoly for like a week. And
yeah, the group chat was getting hit with the who wants to come over and play Monopoly text like once a day for a week.
I even sent like, hi, it's me, Audrey. I know it's been a while, like the political campaign type text message.
Could you please spare 20 minutes of your time?
But we finally played and it was awesome, except I was the first one to go out.
And you got out so early.
I got out an hour in and it ended up being like a 3-hour game. But at least I was banker, so I was still like interacting in the game and everything. But low-key, like after I got home, I was like, man, that kind of did suck.
No, I know. I felt so bad. I was like, I'm sorry you got out so early. And you're like, it's fine.
And Rosalind like was being nasty in that game. Like I could tell she was so into it. And it low-key pissed me off because like I had an orange piece, Suzy had an orange piece, and then someone else had an orange piece, and I was like, Suzy needed money, so I was like, oh, I'll buy that off of you, and Rosalind was like, I'll buy it off of you, and like she kept on like upping how much I was gonna buy it off of Suzy for.
It's like a little bidding war.
Yeah, and like first of all, I know she did not even have the funds for it.
Yeah, she scammed you.
She did scam me because she didn't even have the orange piece, which was crazy. Also, we got Little Caesars before, and I don't care if you think that's nasty. Little Caesars is awesome. But it was a crazy experience at that Little Caesars. Was it worth it? Yes, it was. But like, this dude came out of the Little Caesars. He was wearing like a plastic wrap apron on and then tucked into like his actual apron. He had a knife and like a case.
I thought you said it was like a machete.
It wasn't like a full machete because it was like short, but it was like curved at the end.
Whoa.
Which was crazy. And then he went into the liquor store next door and then walked back in. Marco, he was the one who was waiting inside to get the pizza for us. And he said that guy worked there. And then as we were
average
leaving,
Little Caesars employee.
Literally, and I saw a tweet today that was like a picture of a Little Caesars and the sign said "No tweakers, please." And that was literally like our experience there.
They should have had that sign up.
I know, but then Marco was like, no one would be clocked in if that were the case.
Also true.
Yeah, and then this guy, like, as we were about to pull out of the parking lot, came up to Marco's window and was like, do you have $2 for a coffee? Because there was a Dunkin' next door. And Rosalind was like, oh, no, sorry. And he was like, I wasn't talking to you. And, yeah, and then he, like, screamed at some lady who was, like, trying to enter the Little Caesars. It was crazy.
There's always something going on.
Yeah.
At Lil C's.
I lived across from a Little Caesars in college, and I would go there so much because $5 for a pizza, especially when you're like coming home late and like drunk, and it was awesome.
The best. I remember in high school, I used to know some kids who would like hang out near the Little Caesars after they would close because they would always just throw away whatever hot and ready's, and so they would just dumpster dive like, and that's how you know you're desperate. Yeah, like when the pizza's only $5 and you're still like just waiting to get it for free out of the dumpster, like you are down bad.
That is really bad.
And it was like my hometown, like people had money, like it was fine. I think they just like the thrill of the chase.
I will say, like, the people I see on my TikTok that go dumpster diving, not for food, but, like, for other things, they'll be like, oh, my God.
It pisses me off so bad when I hear about, like Ulta and, like, Sephora, like, their dumpster shit and how they have to destroy, like, every product as they throw it away. It's just so wasteful, and it's just sad.
Yeah, that's when I worked at Urban Outfitters. If we had products, so the way it would work is like if something was no longer sold in the stores, it would ring up as a dime, so they were called dime items. But we'd have to take them all off the floor in time, and if a customer ended up finding one, we'd charge them like however much for it. And then we'd put everything else in a box. And there used to be a store here in Chicago that was like not
a warehouse, but just like a
I don't even
cheaper, just a cheaper version.
Yeah, it was like a store
overflow.
Yeah, I don't know, but they sold all the items that were no longer sold like online or in stores at the other stores. So everything there would be like super super cheap compared to like everywhere else. Except that store doesn't exist anymore, so I wonder like if they have a store anywhere else.
Yeah, I mean maybe they're like shipping it to somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like somewhere else that has one of those stores, but I don't know. Crazy. Should we play our game?
Yeah, let's do it.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I can do that.
Also, happy September 1st, everyone. Well, it's September 1st for us, and it's
when we're recording.
3rd for you.
Yes.
2nd, 3rd.
3rd.
Happy September 3rd, everyone.
Wake me up when September ends.
Okay.
All right. So this is Reviews Clues. We read Letterboxd reviews and we have to guess the movie. My first review is from Holly. This is one really long themed this was just
take a deep breath.
This was just one really long wedding-themed r/am I the asshole post.
Okay.
The next one is OC124. This is the girls' version of The Hangover, and it's the best female comedy ever made, and that's a fact.
Bridesmaids? Mm-hmm. Good shit.
Yeah, that's a good shit. Literally, the next review I have is from Jay. Violently throwing up in expensive dresses is an easy recipe for an original screenplay nomination. So,
amen.
Yeah.
I need to rewatch that. It's like been a minute.
I watched it like early in the summer, and it made me cry because I thought about my sister getting married.
Oh, that's kind of sweet.
Yeah.
Okay. My first review is from India, who says, the older I get, the more I relate to both the struggling artist mum and the goth daughter. British.
Okay.
This next one is from Sarah, who says, was anyone else very deeply affected by that one shrunken head guy as a child?
Shrunken head guy? Oh, it's Beetlejuice.
Mm-hmm.
Yup.
Which I actually haven't seen Beetlejuice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I would like to see it.
Yeah, I just watched it for the first time like a couple weeks ago, and it was very good. And I'm excited for the new one, even though I heard it was kind of bad.
I heard it's not good.
I saw a tweet that was like, Beetlejuice got a 4-minute standing ovation at its premiere, and then someone quote tweeted it and said, by the way, for people who aren't like into film, this is the equivalent of throwing tomatoes at the screen.
That's so bad. And it's like, I love Winona Ryder, so
Yeah.
I heard the original is really good.
The original is really good.
So maybe I'll just watch that, and then
I just think Tim Burton isn't what he used to be anymore.
Yeah.
Like after a certain point, I think after the Alice in Wonderland movie is kind of when things started slowly declining.
I can see that, actually.
Yeah, because name a single movie after that he directed that like stands out.
I don't know.
Exactly.
I can't. I'm thinking is Wednesday, the Netflix show, which was also not good.
Yeah, there's that. There was Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, which was based off the book. I liked those books a lot in middle school, and that movie was trash.
I believe it.
I feel like...
Come on, Tim.
There was some other stuff, but not relevant.
Yeah. He fell off.
Yeah. All right.
Well,
speaking of falling off,
the podcast is over.
Oh my God. No. Oh, please keep going. We love your podcast so much.
Don't worry, guys. We've got a backlog of like 20 episodes. So.
More than that.
And there's more coming every week, so don't worry.
Yeah.
We're still here.
We're always going to be here.
Yeah.
Always and forever, because we love you. Okay, see you next Tuesday.
Bye.